Hello, my name is Mario Ademaj. I'm a third-year medical student from the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health. Today I wanted to make my health tip via a video. I hope that this is a little more interactive than my post on my Mario Ademaj's health tips page. I thought that this would be a little more interactive, and I hope some things that I share with you might apply to your life and you might be able to use to improve some of your life habits. So this week's topic is about hypertension. Hypertension is another way of saying high blood pressure, and it's known as the silent killer here in the United States. Hypertension leads to many complications: heart disease, cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer. It can lead to renal failure. When you get some scarring in some of the tubes in your kidneys from hypertension, that's known as glomerulosclerosis, and that could lead you to different things like dialysis, going on dialysis, or even needing transplant, or even death. So besides that, hypertension can affect your brain. It can lead to heart attacks, strokes. It can lead to different neurological malfunctions. There's just basically any organ system in your body that gets supplied from the blood will be affected by hypertension, and that is every single organ system in your body. So to kind of go in some more specifics, so hypertension by definition, so normal healthy blood pressure, according to standards found on the American Heart Association webpage, the normal optimal goal for your blood pressure should be 120/80 or less. So less than 120/80. So next time you go to get your blood pressure checked, you want it to be less than 120/80. By definition, hypertension is when it's above 140/90. So if your blood pressure, if any of your numbers, the top or the bottom, are above either the 140 for the top or the 90 for the bottom, then you're by definition considered hypertensive, and you are at greater risk of having heart attacks, strokes, different complications that we talked about. So the reason why it's important is because your health outcomes, so you can have a better quality of life if you control your blood pressure, but also you can have longer life by not having some of these complications like heart attacks. It's very important, and so many deaths can be tied back to hypertension. And hypertension can be primary or secondary. There's many different risk factors for hypertension, some that we can control and some that we can't control. I want to mainly talk about the risk factors that we can control in hypertension, the ones that we could start tackling even now, just by different habits in our lives. So some of these things include smoking. If you smoke, stop that right now. It's the best thing you could do for your body, and your body will thank you. If your body could let you know, I don't know how it would let you know, but your body would thank you. It's just every organ system is affected by smoking, it feels like, just because there's so many diseases out there that are directly caused by smoking. So if you can cut back on the smoking or quit it completely, that's the best thing you can do. Another thing, obesity, being overweight is directly correlated to having hypertension or high blood pressure. If you can work on your weight via exercise and good nutrition, that's also something great that you can do for your body, for your health outcomes in general. Speaking of exercise and nutrition, those are also risk factors for having hypertension or high blood pressure. In terms of nutrition, salt is something that we don't think about, but when you have high intake of salt, that leads to hypertension. That's one of the risk factors. So one way you can kind of go about solving some of the problems if you are hypertensive once you check your blood pressure is by making sure to eat less salt. One easy way to go about doing that, if you're at a grocery store, for example, and you're buying, let's say, turkey slices for your sandwiches that you're going to be making for yourself, take a look at the different brands, look at the back of the packages, and see how much sodium one package has versus another brand, and pick the one that has less sodium. Your taste won't change. It's not like you're going to notice a difference of like 15% sodium versus 10% sodium, but you will have less sodium for your body, and therefore hopefully work towards having a better, well-controlled blood pressure. Some other things that I might have missed in terms of your blood pressure and risk factors. So drinking is something that we also don't think about, but the general recommendations for how much alcohol that you should have for males, you shouldn't have more than 2 drinks a night, and for females, you shouldn't have more than 1 drink per day. So those are general recommendations. And if you have increased drinking above those guidelines, then you are at risk of hypertension and different things like heart failure. I'm not against drinking. I actually think a little bit of drinking is healthy for you, and I know there's been some studies for wine and its relation to a healthy body. So I'm not against drinking, but a moderate amount of drinking is what's recommended. And then something that's very important, especially in today's society in America, is your level of stress. So if you can work on controlling your stress level, you'll be doing your body great favor, not only in terms of your blood pressure, but there's so many different things that are related to stress. When you're in stress, your body releases different hormones, cortisol being one of those, and that kind of throws your body off balance and leads to different things like hypertension that will lead to different things like strokes, heart attacks, and basically increased risk for death. Those are just some things that you can work on that are controllable. Other things you can't control. So age, the older we get, the more likely we are to have hypertension, some of these complications. Those we can't control. But like I said, there's so much great that you can do for yourself by starting with nutrition and exercise right now. Videos like this and my page, the Mario Ademaj Health Tips page on Facebook, these are just to get you kind of thinking about your healthy habits, your life habits, your lifestyle. But what I recommend most is to go to your primary care physician, and they know you best, so they'll give you a very detailed plan in terms of how to go about, for you, specifically you, how to go about improving some of your health outcomes, your lifestyles, exercise, nutrition, diet recommendations, whatever you need that pertains to you. The best resource for that will be your primary care physician. But I really hope that these videos again, I don't benefit anything from them. I just want to make them, and the page on Facebook, the health tips page that I make these purely because I want to get you guys start thinking about your life habits, and it's never too late to get started on them. As adults, I think it's a little harder. It takes a little more motivation to start changing your life habits, but definitely if you're younger, if you're a student, I mean, this is when you start developing your life habits. So there's nothing better you can do for yourself and your family and your loved ones than to kind of start working and making health a lifestyle, not even something you have to work at, not something that seems like a job for you, but something that you really enjoy, because you know, you only get one body for your entire life. You live in only one body. You want to make sure you take good care of it. And that's something that, you know, as hard as it sounds, you can't really get a second chance at. So you make sure you take really good care of your body and start working on some of these healthy lifestyles and healthy life habits. If you enjoyed this video and if you want to see some more of my health tips, please follow me on my webpage, on my Facebook page by searching Mario Ademaj Health Tips, and have a happy and healthy rest of your week.